let's move on. Okay, in the modern world, looking at Saturn. Saturn rules governments, law, and bureaucracy. And we're talking about old powers. We're talking about hierarchical structures. We're talking about old power and understanding of the way power works in societies. It's like in the US right now, sitting here watching from Australia, you're choosing from two different candidates that probably wouldn't be your first choices, but that's just the way the system works. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, what you're voting for, I think, with the democratic process, and this may not gel with everybody's way of thinking about it, but at the end of the day, we've got a system where we don't really control who rises to power. We don't really control what they do. The only real freedom we have is to vote for Party A or Party B. And in a lot of ways, that's representative of Saturnian energy. It's, old power structures that are so entrenched. We're just not in a position to change them overnight. So the whole process of law, if you live in a Commonwealth country, then you're under Westminster law, which means the older a piece of legislation or law is, the more powerful it is. That's a very Saturnian way of looking at law and legislation. And of course, Saturn rules bureaucracy too. So any structure that's too big and too clumsy, that micromanages the hell out of something, well, that's definitely an expression of Saturn. Economic systems and capitalism. We're talking about old money here too. So we're not talking about like bitcoins and cryptocurrency and things like that. That's a more Uranian type of capitalism, but old style capitalism. Dollars, audits, budgets, fiscal years, accounting, all of that sort of stuff. That's all an expression of Saturnian energy. And in a lot of ways, the way that the modern world exists is still chained to the way the old world used money and so on. We're in a digital age now where things do all move slightly faster than they did before, but we still have the same hierarchies all in place as well. Conspiracy theory in a lot of ways is a reaction to Saturnian energy. This belief that there are powers at work and things like that that are directing and controlling the flow of the human race. There's been a prevailing theory that's been going for a long time that 10% of the world tell the other 90% what to do. There's a math to it, and that in itself is a hierarchical figure. And within that 10%, you will have one person who's telling or 1% that's telling that other 10% how to milk the other 90%. And that in itself is a completely Saturnian equation as well.